What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Conversation Piece for another episode. My name is Patrick Armstrong. I am your host, and 2025 is the year of community. 2025 is also rapidly coming to an end, and depending on when you are listening to this, that means we have only 2 more episodes left this year. If that feels like deja vu, you are not wrong, because I've said those exact same words numerous times earlier this year. And if you can't tell, that clearly was not true. So we are figuring out what is happening, but I can promise you right now that there are only 2 more episodes of this show left this year. So stick around. And if you want to catch up on all of the things that you might have missed this year, go to conversationpeacepod.com or follow us on social media at conversationpeacepod. Now, with that out of the way, I had to get a few more episodes in for y'all because Indy is a plethora of really incredible people. And my guest today is no exception. She is a designer, reader, list maker, creator, caffeine-dependent nerd, and really, really good at Taekwondo. She is also the chief business officer for the Normies, a group of entertainers that create reactions and review videos of various trailers, TV shows, anime, movies, as well as original content such as comedic skits and sketches, vlogs, and podcasts, and who have been doing so for the past decade here in Indianapolis.
Yes.
They have nearly 1 million subscribers on YouTube now and a bunch more everywhere else. And the Normies have built something really, really special here in the city. And actually something you just talked about, we got to get into about that relationship. So without further ado, I will tarry no further and say that it is my great joy and privilege to welcome Navi Kaur to the show. Navi, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for bringing me here. That was a terrific intro.
Thank you very much.
Very, very good. Yeah, enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for coming by.
Absolutely. I've been watching your show for a while. So when Rana told me that she knows you, I was like, oh, wait a minute. And then at the same time, somebody else told me they know you. I was like, okay, we got to make introductions.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you tuning into the show. That means a lot.
Yeah. Editing is really well done on those shows. It's like,
thank you.
I love that.
Shout out to these 2 over there. They do all of that.
It's really good.
Okay, so you brought up Rana. How did you first meet? How did you 2 first meet?
Oh my God. We actually met while we were watching Game of Thrones. She randomly was just brought on by someone while we were watching with the group of friends and became friends since then because we were meeting every Sunday to watch Game of Thrones. It was season 2, after Ned Stark died. It was like a big deal.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it from the last 10 years. But yeah, that's how we met and we just bonded on TV shows, essentially. TV shows and then anime, and she started watching Avatar. I love Avatar, The Last Airbender, and we just became nerds together.
I love it. You brought up Game of Thrones. Was that your first nerddom?
That was the very first show that not like my personal, but the one for the channel.
Okay, let's talk about what for Navi. What is that your first nerddom, or where does that start?
Mine starts when I was a kid with anime.
Take us back.
Dragon Ball is my nerddom. Dragon Ball, and then Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Kai, whatever Dragon Balls versions are right now, Super, everything. But Dragon Ball, anime was my favorite. And then Inuyasha. And after a while, I moved here to America and I stopped watching anime, read quite a bit of manga, moved to college. So when I met the Normies and we started with Game of Thrones and they were like, we're going to start with anime. I was like, I'm not sure if I want to open that Pandora box again because closed it. And once you open it, there's just so much out there with anime. But it did happen. And now I'm watching anime in my late 30s, so here we are.
As your job.
As my job. Watching TV as a job. Who knew that would be a thing?
Did you ever think when you were a kid that would be something you could
the
pursue?
answer is no immediately. I don't think anybody, if you tell that to anyone that this will be your job to watch TV, they'll be like, no, that's not possible.
Yeah.
Same with like playing video games, right? Like that is a job now for people. But
I grew up in the 90s. I remember knowing, or like when I was growing up, like that was the stigma against. It's like if you do that, you will never have a job.
Yeah.
Like you're not get off the game, turn the TV off, and go get a
exactly. Like you're playing video games, you're gonna A, turn violent, or B, just like that's it. You're gonna be living with your parents and playing video games. And it's like there's just so much potential possibilities now with the content that people just consume that it was just not fandomable.
For sure.
But it's crazy. Yeah.
So you said you were watching anime and then immigrated here to America and then transitioned to manga.
Yeah.
What was it like immigrating? What was your immigration experience like when you first got here? Did you come straight to Indiana or were you move? Did you immigrate? Did you land somewhere else?
Yeah, ish. We landed in California because my family knew someone who was there.
Okay.
And then they decided to move to Indiana like in a couple of weeks per se. So, I mean, I didn't know much about America. Like the only thing like New York, Chicago, LA, like those are the places.
Not Indiana.
Not Indiana. So we like drove to Indiana, not realizing this 3-day trip. It's like this country is huge from San Francisco to like all the way to Indiana. We just had a family here. Not that I knew my friends of family. And I actually, moved to Indiana, started high school here, which was very different from India's education system. And I think that's where I fell more into like reading more manga. It's like, I will just be quiet girl reading this stuff while I'm learning how to speak English. So high school experience was very different, but college was amazing. So I went to IU. That's when I was able to move away from my family, was able to take the American culture, combine it with my own culture, create a whole different identity. And I think that helped quite a bit just moving away from it. But manga stayed with me. Like I will still read it quite a bit.
For sure.
Yeah. And I used to go to libraries. So that's why, like
I was going to ask, where were you discovering?
It's a library essentially. Sense. So like we moved here. Obviously we weren't like, we managed. We weren't like super rich or super poor, but like we managed coming here. But like our main source of education, or like things of fun or entertainment was going to a library.
For sure.
Yeah. So like the state library, whatever they had, obviously they don't have the full series of a manga. They have like one volume of this, 10th volume of something else, or like read whatever they had in an hour because manga's very easy to read. It's the comic books essentially.
For sure.
Then I started reading it online. You can find free sources online. Yeah. And going from there. So I did watch quite a bit of anime. Like I was watching Naruto at that time, and then I don't know if you've ever seen Naruto. Yeah. There was a phase where
believe it.
Yeah, believe it. Yeah. He will become Hokage, and he did. I was watching it with my siblings, so that was like our bonding experience of watching like anime together, like Naruto, Dragon Ball, Beyblade. I don't know if you consider that anime, Pokemon. Yeah. Right. And so it was just fun entertainment until my brother was like, I'm gonna play video games. I was like, all right, you go do your thing. Goodbye. And that's that from there. Yeah.
But, do you have a preference, manga to anime?
I mean, my nerd self says manga. For sure. I think there is a special place for anime, the way they could animate some scenes and bring it to life. Like I just watched this beautiful show, My Hero Academia. The animation is just such a beautifully done that, the manga had it drawn, like it's beautiful, but you can't imagine it the way it comes to life. Sure. And animators, they put their soul and heart into it. Like sometimes every scene is a different picture, different art. So combining it together, a 2-second scene that took them a month to make is a whole it's just different experience. Yeah. I think anime and manga have both different places in my heart. I love for the story. Like if the anime is taking longer, I'm gonna read a manga, but I will still watch the anime because the animation is just insane.
Totally. Mm-hmm. Any like adaptations that particularly stand out to you as like, this was the way it was supposed to be done? You obviously just brought up My Hero Academia like as one of them, but any other ones that really like stand out to you is like, this is the way I want to see a thing adapted, if I could see it?
There are many. So if I go with like a big one, One Piece, obviously the way that recent ones adapted is you can't even think about it when you're reading it. So I've been reading manga for One Piece and like watching the scenes here and there, and they're insane. When you talk about some smaller one, there's a newer one like Chainsaw Man. Demon Slayer is insanely good. People say like the animation is the one carrying the show. Sure, the storyline is whatever. Sure. But the animation is something that is so good that is getting awards that like I can put it in a different category. Like I will watch it for the cinematic reason there is. Sure. And JJK. I'm wearing like JJK shirt. Yeah. I love this anime. My favorite. I think the way they adapted that into animation is also amazing. I can just go on. Like there's just so many of them.
I like that you it seems like you can find a thing about something that you can enjoy and then enjoy the property itself without being like, no, I'm a hater. I don't like that.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of like communities are divided, right? Like the community, like we have to watch sub versus dub. And there's like a huge discussion. And I think there is a space and place for that. But American voice actors, English voice actors are doing an insanely good job nowadays. So that discussion now is a moot. Like it used to be a thing back in the day when the English voice actors were just coming up. But now they're like, there's such talented people that I will watch it in both. Yeah,
like, they can stand on their own. They stand on their own,
exactly. If I'm watching it in sub with Normies, then I will rewatch it in dub on my own because they both bring their whole. Like they both do great jobs. Like, they're amazing jobs. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So was it at IU where you and the rest of your crew kind of first amorphized together? Or how does that come about? Like
that happened after I graduated from IU. I moved back home for a year. I was gonna take a gap year.
Okay.
I was at a party, my friend's birthday party, and I met a member of the Normie, and we started talking on Game of Thrones. Literally, Game of Thrones.
Yep.
And then he was like, "Oh,
how does that conversation come up? Like, do you remember what?
I think one of us was like, "Have you seen Game of Thrones?"
That's it. That's all you have to do.
It was like, "Yes, I've seen Game of Thrones." And I remember having conversation with other people, and not everybody has seen Game of Thrones.
Who here has seen Game of Thrones?
Seen Game of
Thrones?
Thrones?
The party just segregates.
Exactly. And then it was just two of us talking Game of Thrones, and I had remember telling him that I saw Ned die, and I stopped watching because I was like, "That's it, right? Like the main character is dead. What is there more to see?" And he was like, No. We gotta finish it.
We gotta keep going.
We gotta keep going.
Sure.
So we went over, I watched the episode, and then his name is Nahid, and he's the one who introduced me to the Now group. So his friends who happened to be Mickey, Suresh, Pat.
Yep.
And then at that time, there was a Breaking Bad finale happening.
Okay.
So we got together to watch Breaking Bad finale because Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Top tier show.
Top tier.
Like the finale is beautiful. So, you had to get together to watch finale. We made the blue sugar meth and the whole shebang. And we had a lot of fun. Like he invited a bunch of friends. I met a lot of people. So I lived in Bloomington for 4 years. So I didn't know a lot of people here. So that was my way. I was like, invite me, right?
Yeah.
Like I will love to meet new people. I don't know anybody here, and they're nerds also. So amazing. Like I don't have to put too much of a face to do this. We can just talk about nerd stuff. So since then it's like, okay, now that Breaking Bad is done, Game of Thrones is starting. Let's just do this every Sunday.
Yeah.
And it was just an excuse to get together every Sunday because we had a busy life. Everybody was working during the week. And I lived close to Greenwood. They lived in Fishers and Noblesville. So there's no way we're meeting on a weekdays.
Right.
So weekend once a week. And that's how I just met them.
Okay.
And so I started filming and editing. I was like, I will just come and meet. And we'll start playing games around Game of Thrones. Which was a lot of fun because that's just judging or just learning more about the lore of Game of Thrones based on the games. We had a Jeopardy games going on, all that's you gotta know Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So we got really into it. We were really into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few of us read the books and
did you take it to the next level?
We were just how can we make this? People were watching it when the first video went out. I was like, oh, there's 400 people watching it. People want to watch this. And then eventually became 1,000 views. And it's how can we do this different?
Yeah.
That's when we added the games.
So I wanted to ask you about that because I read an interview that Suraj did, and he said that the first reaction or the first video was he just put the camera up. He didn't tell anybody. He just did it.
He just did it.
And then the video went out. And he didn't tell anybody. I was going to ask, what was your reaction to that? Were you wanting to step into that realm, or once it was out, you're just oh, okay, this is a thing. You said, some people are watching it.
Yeah, some people. I had no idea what YouTube was. I did not watch YouTube. I have heard of it, but that was not my source of content.
Gotcha.
So when he said that, he's gonna, I think he said something can I film this?
Yeah.
And I might put this on YouTube. And we were like,
the original consent.
Yeah. So we're Sure. I don't think anybody wants to watch us watch TV. Like it just sounds crazy when you think about it.
Totally.
Like you want to watch other people watch TV. Why don't they just watch their own TV? And for me, it's like, I'm going to be here watching TV. For me, there's no time spent. Like, I'm not filming it. I'm not editing it. Like, it's all you doing that.
Yeah.
So he did that for a couple weeks, and he will just tell us, like, hey, there are actually this engagement, right? Like, people are commenting, people are saying this. Maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe we should do this. So we will just started going, looking at the comments also.
Yeah.
And then slowly it was like, okay, so let's make the lighting better, make the audio better, make this better. Chris, he's a big audio person, so he was like, let me fix all the audio stuff. Sure. So like slowly things started getting improving because Surge, who was the one who had the education in the video editing and videographer and stuff. So he had the equipment. I didn't have the equipment. I don't even know what it takes to
You were just coming over.
I'm just coming over.
I love Game of Thrones.
Literally. I'm just coming over to watch Game of Thrones. And they're like, you sit here. He was like, sit me anywhere. I'm just here to watch Game of Thrones. So I stopped talking. And when she was like, let's put subtitles on because you guys are talking too much.
Sure.
Like there's too much going on. But yeah, it just, and then... Yeah, it's still, to this day, it's been a decade.
Yeah.
I still think it's weird that this many people watch TV.
Okay.
But I understand that it's a community. Like, we end up building a community who, even our own audience, they became friends. Like, they built a community. They go to each other's weddings and stuff, like birthdays and stuff. So, like, they became bonded on literally Game of Thrones because... There's not that many people who were watching Game of Thrones at the time.
Yeah.
So you needed somebody to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same core concept goes with any show. It's like, oh, let's talk about this show. You're not watching it? Like, I want to know who's watching it so we can discuss this show.
For sure.
So yeah, it's interesting. That's grown to this.
Yeah. I also did not grow up watching YouTube. Like, I only recently in like last 3 years.
Same.
Like if it started with like analysis and breakdown stuff.
Yeah.
And then you segued into... Actually, my first reactions were from the hip-hop reactors during the Drake-Kendrick beef.
Oh, yeah.
My wife and I were like up at like 1 a.m. and things would drop, and we were watching. It was because it was hilarious, but I was just like, I bet people are doing this to other stuff. And I think one of the things I really love about what y'all do is that I think most reactors that I watch, I feel like I'm watching them do it. And like you said, why would people want to watch people watch TV? Why wouldn't they just watch their own TV? It really feels like I'm watching the show with you guys while you're watching it too. Like I'm there on the couch. I'm just happen to be behind a screen.
And that's end up being the concept. And also, I think our editors, shout out to our editors. They are a wonderful, wonderful team who does really good job of zooming in on when somebody is doing something silly.
Sure.
And then if you have watched this for a while, like we kind of become friends. Like, you know our personality.
Totally.
So it's kind of, even now I've started watching our own reactions. Sometimes I'll watch it. Like, if there's a timestamp, I'll watch a little bit of it just because the way some editors film it, because I think it's so funny sometimes. I'm like, I'm watching myself react to it, but I think it's so funny the way he did it.
Yeah,
like,
they did this one camera like swish move in a recent one on Surge that made me laugh, and I thought that same thing. I'm like, man, they're because I just had the privilege of touring your guys' studio and meeting a lot of your team, and I'm like, these editors are like really know what they're doing, like when it comes to that, because it's just like thinking about in the moment, like that would be a good thing to do.
Exactly.
But it was just like that really.
And they've been with us for a while, right? So
for
our editor team, I think everybody, the first outside hire we had outside of a group friend was like 8 years ago.
Sure.
So since then, whoever we hired has been with us.
Yeah.
Unless they moved away to a better opportunity, which we can't stop them.
Sure.
But yeah, our editors have also grown with us. So they kind of know our personality. We know their personality. So we know how they're going to take some scenes.
Yeah.
So it's good to have like a good solid team to just be like, we know how this is going to go. Quickly edit it.
I just had a conversation with another creator here in Indy, and we were talking about like the business side of it. Yeah. And I asked him like, when did it feel like it became a business? He's like, it doesn't feel like that yet. But we talked about the idea of hiring employees. Like when you have employees, like then you can call yourself a CEO. Was that moment 8 years ago when you hired your first employee, was that the moment of like, this is a real business now? Or what was there a moment like that where you were like, this is something more than just creating content?
Oh yeah, for sure. The first time when it was just us, it was only a couple of people who were full-time. So it was still like very loosey-goosey on payroll and stuff. Like I'm the one who's been managing financials since the very beginning. So it wasn't like a lot coming in. It's like, this is going to go to us getting a lunch on this day.
Sure.
Essentially what was happening was like whatever money was coming in, like this is a food. The first editor we hired, I remember still like really funny because we will just say whatever because of a group of friends. And one time I think one of the guys made like an inappropriate joke, which it's funny to hindsight, and we just looked at each other like, maybe we shouldn't talk like this now that we have employee.
Sure.
Maybe we should be careful on what we say, and not inappropriate, like horrible, but just like,
right.
Boyish joke.
Like the HR thing.
I was
that
like,
you would not put on like something like this.
Exactly.
But,
So I was like, oh, okay, maybe we shouldn't. So I think that's when we kind of started thinking like, all right, maybe we should have policies of benefits. Like we're employee, like we didn't start with benefits. Now we do.
Yeah.
So we were very much like, what do you need? And let's talk about it. What will help? And then when we hired like 2 or 3 employees, that's when I was like, we need a solid payroll company, because I can pay them like we were doing PayPal. It's like we can do PayPal, but like, and the 1099 eventually. But if they continue doing the same job, we can't consider them as 1099. We need to do W-2. Had to look all that up, like learn what that meant. So I think once like after second, when we had to like draft a temporary HR book, it's like, we should have some policies. Like we should have benefits. We started having we used to have like this 2-day long quarterly meetings. I was like, we need to talk about what this policy means.
Sure.
So like, what is a PTO? And we used to have like unlimited PTO. People took advantage. Like now, what does this mean?
Yeah.
And we ourselves on-screen personality are like 8 of us, right? So that's already a big team.
Yeah, for sure.
And so then you bring on other employees, and we have an admin on. It's like this team is growing, that we need to be able to answer better. So there were just questions being asked by employees. It's like, we don't have the answers, so we should think about it. Like, what happens if somebody passes away? Like, you can have a bereavement. How long is that? How long do you have a PTO? Do you get help? Do you not get benefits? Do we have retirements? Like, I don't know. We'll look into this. When we started becoming full-time, it's like, we need to look into it because we technically, like, we are the team. Like, if we are not have benefits for ourselves, we can't help the employees either.
Totally.
Yeah.
Did you sign up to run the business part of it? Was that something that you had like come in thinking like, okay, I can help manage this part of it?
It just happened.
It just happened.
Yeah, because the very beginning, like I was helping with the scheduling. So we're like, okay, we need to do Game of Thrones every week. And then Game of Thrones ended when we added Walking Dead. It's like, all right, who's coming where? So I was just doing more for organizations, like we're meeting this Sunday at this time and whose house?
Yeah.
Like we didn't have a stationary location. So once we kind of figured that out, and then we added a couple more shows, like, okay, now there's a whole more organization needs, because who's editing it, who's publishing it, and who's doing all this stuff. Every role we have is just, there was a need.
Yeah.
Somebody started doing that. It's like, now it's your job.
Yeah.
Like, you do this. So like, I had a little bit more of a financial background. So when we started getting AdSense, like, okay, let me set up AdSense. Let me set the LLC. Let me do all this. So then it became, I guess, just became my job to manage all that.
It seems like you're also the wrangler of the people.
Try not to be.
Sure, try not to be.
But it happens. Sometimes it does. Yeah.
How has that evolved over this last decade? Like you said, at first, like we were all living in different parts of the city, so it was hard to like coordinate just once a week. Now you guys have your own studio, which you've had for a long time, I think.
For about 3 years now,
That one in Fishers. You also had a place in downtown that you, like a base of operations, I think.
Not anymore, but we used to.
Before the Fishers place.
Yeah.
How has that wrangling of people evolved, like the scheduling aspect, because you also post the schedules of all the content that's coming out, and when I see that, I'm like, I feel like I'm posting a lot of content now for the show, and I'm just like, I'm not doing that.
It's so
how does that how has that evolved over these last 10 years to like get everybody on the same page, at least as much as you can?
I think it's it's been helpful that people who've been involved are passionate of doing it. So I think that's really helpful because when you sit down and talk about like, we're going to do 5 shows, people need to be excited to be doing 5 shows and understand that doing those 5 shows mean there will need to be a scheduling involved, there needs to be editing involved, there's need to be like money involved, like, and everybody kind of being on the same page.
Yeah.
I started with scheduling and then I believe you met Markéta. She became full-time and she has a degree as a teacher, as an English. Okay. She has a master in like literature. And so when she came on full-time, I was still a part-time because I have a consultant job. Yeah. So I started giving that to her because I knew she is organized enough that she can deal with this.
Teachers know what they're doing in that
exactly.
realm, for sure.
So it's been a lot of work of figuring out what everybody's strength is and using that strength because working with friends is tricky.
Sure.
It's very tricky.
Sure.
And not everybody's work ethic is what you expect it to be. So there's been a lot of ups and downs.
Sure.
But she was able to like take over the scheduling part and operation part. And then we were able to slowly divide out parts with people.
Sure.
Once we started seeing that there's more needs. Scheduling, it's more complicated than you think.
Totally.
It's not only scheduling like what show needs to be done, but done in a way that the editors get it a week ahead to get it published. Because what goes on YouTube is something that goes on our Patreon 4 weeks ahead.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff needs to be filmed way ahead. And especially the holidays are coming, nobody's going to be here, but the content's still being published.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of variables that goes in place. So she does an amazing job on that. So it will take all those roles. They slowly got expanded and we just moved them around.
Okay.
We're still trying. Our goal is that the on-screen personalities are just on-screen personalities.
Okay.
But it's difficult, right? Like it's our company. Like we want to have our fingers in everything, and at the same time, don't want to have fingers in everything. So I think now we are slowly getting into the aspect of people understanding. Yeah, I can't do these 10 things. I can only do one thing because you've been on camera all day long.
Sure.
There's no time for you to check email. Like you can't check the email if you're on screen, and you just kind of have to make do with it and give that job to somebody else. So it's been a lot of working with the control from people to like let it go.
Sure.
Give it to other people. We have a good team.
Yeah.
Let's depend on this team.
Yeah.
And thankfully we are privileged enough to have a good team that is reliable and is hungry enough to like learn more, do more. So it's like, okay, let's give them that job responsibility because we don't know in the YouTube world what is the career ladder to go up. So a lot of times, like, what would you like to do in 5 years? Like,
well, hopefully we have 10 million subscribers.
10 million subscribers, but what does that mean for you as a career-wise?
Right.
Like, as an editor, are you always going to be an editor? Where does that look like? So there's been a lot of those discussions as well. Like, we would love for you to be fulfilled. What does that look in this? Maybe it's not with us, and that is fine, but I'd rather have the open conversation with our teams. Like, what does that look like? If you reach a ceiling, then let's discuss whatever the next move step is, because let's not end this relationship, but we understand we can't. If we don't have a need other than editor, we can't really find this responsibility of this title that you can be the chief executive, whatever. It was like, we don't need chief executive, whatever.
We don't need any more C's.
Exactly. That's a whole thing also, going back to your discussion. Like when I remember, I wasn't here for this discussion, but I came back and everybody had like this titles of chief content creator, chief operations. Like, why? None of us are chiefs. Like, none of us are C-level. I don't think you even understand what that means. So even now when somebody like, I'm a financial officer, but somebody know like you're chief financial. I was like, no, I'm just financial officer.
Okay, gotcha. Let me change that. On the website, you all have your chief names.
I've lost that battle. I tried to fight that battle. It's like, it makes no sense for us to be C-suite.
Sure.
Like, no.
I mean, it sounds nice.
It sounds nice.
Yeah.
I think that's why they did it.
It looks good on a business card.
That's why they did it.
It looks really good on the website.
It does. Yeah. It does. But it's like when you come down to it, like, what does it mean? Like, what are you doing that makes you chief executive officer? Like, you're a founder, I understand. But like, what we work in a democratic way.
Yeah.
So like we have specific roles, but at the end of the day, our votes are all equal.
Totally.
So unless we have a tie, then the CEO can break it, but even then he won't break it because we want to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Sure. How often do ties happen?
Not that often.
Okay.
Yeah, not that often. But we have been doing more votes because recently it's been people are like, we can't keep talking about this.
Sure.
Just make a decision.
We gotta keep moving.
We gotta keep moving. Let's make a decision. I'm fine with whatever that is. And I think we've gone to that point because before it was like, it needs to be all or nothing. And like, we can't do that. We will spend hours talking about it, convincing one person to change. Like, it's only one person. Yeah. What's the point of having a whole 7-people team if we can't do something?
Totally. If we get hamstrung by a 4-3,
exactly.
We gotta go with the 4.
Yeah, we had to like write down a whole operation agreement. It's like, votes count.
Yeah.
Like majority vote. Let's just go. Let's move forward.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've built an ecosystem now where you can make a decision in that way, and it's going to help everybody in the long run as opposed to just, we might do something this way in the short term.
Yeah.
What does a normal day look like for y'all? For you specifically, I guess, but for just in general, like what does that look like?
So for our on-screen personalities, we work from 9 to 5 p.m.
Yeah.
So we get to the office 9 a.m. We have an hour and a half lunch break, which used to be an hour, but they needed their nap time apparently to like after they eat food. So it's hour and a half, and then we continue watching. So we have all day essentially filming. So 9 a.m. this morning, we actually got at work at 8:30 a.m. So like start watching whatever show in the morning, so usually a block of show, and then we'll take lunch and another block of show in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's just good to watch like a show, like 3 episodes. If it's a shorter episode, that's in the morning. If it's a longer, like Sopranos or Barry, that'll be in the afternoon. We have weekly leadership meetings. We do have like weekly marketing meeting, creative meeting, leadership meetings that can get moved around, but usually it's 8-hour filming day.
Yeah.
Used to be Friday was a creative day. Friday morning, whatever creative people want to do. Sometimes it's winter's coming, so a lot of creative juices are gone. So this Friday,
I see what you did there.
Yeah, so it's literally like, so Friday mornings are just gonna be now like, let's just take a break kind of thing. Because when premieres come, like Stranger Things is going to be coming. That takes a lot of our energy.
Yeah, for sure.
It needs to be watched right away. So a lot of times, like, let's just take a break.
Sure.
But yeah, it's film content 9 to 5 p.m. Every Wednesday we do a Twitch streaming in the afternoon. Every Thursday we do a Twitch streaming, and every Friday afternoon we watch a movie. So 1 movie a week.
Yeah.
It's been a horror movie because apparently we need to watch a lot of horror movies. It gets a lot of views.
Yeah.
So it's been horror movies from the last several months. And
just did Terrifier, I saw.
Terrifier. Yeah.
Or just came out, I guess.
Yes.
You maybe did that 4 weeks ago?
Yes,
okay.
we did. We did that 4 weeks ago. It just came out. Like Conjuring, we did 4 weeks ago. It's going to come out this Saturday. Yeah. That's also a scheduling part. Like, it was supposed to be coming out in October and kind of did, but the way we just did it, just the way it follows,
sure.
like, it is whatever.
Yeah.
But we do those movies live. So people do watch us live on Twitch. So it's kind of like spooky October month, but it just kind of released a little bit later.
Totally.
From there. But yeah, filming 9 to 5 p.m., 5 days a week. Some shows will come on weekends. So when when House of Dragon is going to come back, it's Sunday premiere, we'll watch it on Sunday at 9 p.m.
Gotcha.
Severance, whenever the Severance come out, it's going to be watched when it comes out. So some shows get special treatment.
Yeah.
Stranger Things, it's coming out on, it has a stupid release, Thanksgiving release, Christmas Eve, and then New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah.
So we're watching it on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Eve.
Well, allegedly, they're all like 90-minute runtimes or something. So
one of them is 2 hours. So it's like a whole movie. But because it's such a hype, that needs a special treatment. So we will, if you're coming on Thanksgiving, we will make sure we do get some break later on.
Yeah.
So we work it accordingly from there. But yeah, it's a filming schedule.
How do you slot in new stuff, maybe unexpected stuff that drops? We
tell that to Markéta, and she was like, "Can you
know it?"
Yeah. And she gotta make it happen. Like today, this morning, literally this morning. So there's dairy show.
Oh yeah, Welcome to Dairy.
Welcome to Dairy.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So Surge comes in and he just pulls up reactions. He's like, it's doing great job.
Oh yeah.
And I look at him like, I know where you're going with this. We literally don't have time. And he's like, we gotta make it happen. And then he walks away and then he comes like, Dairy is getting gravy. So he just like plants the seeds here and there, right? So I just look at Markéta. I was like, you gotta look at the schedule. And we have a leadership meeting this afternoon. I'm not sure it's gonna come up in that meeting.
Yeah.
And the next thing is gonna be like, can we make it happen?
Okay.
And we'll see if Markéta can make it happen. If not,
one of those things that you'd have to take a vote on.
Not
when you get to it.
Ish, yeah.
Sure.
I think because we're doing so many shows and now we at a bottleneck of we just don't have time to watch it. So a lot of times like we don't have editors to edit, then we have a freelancer edit. But it's like we can't watch it.
Yeah.
Like if you can't watch it, there's nothing for it to be edited.
Sure.
So it's just a matter of there, and a lot of editors are preparing for PTOs, holidays are coming.
Yeah.
And with the premiere, so like October, November, December is the most busiest months.
Yeah.
Somehow they're always the busiest month because everything releases. That Fallout is coming this month.
Yeah.
Or like next couple of months, like everything is the same. So yeah, I think it just goes to Markéta. Like, can it happen?
Shout out to Markéta.
Shout out to Markéta. She just had a baby and she's like, so she's a goddess working her magic. So sometimes like let her go in her office and make it work and see if it can.
Yeah.
If it's not, then it is not. And then we'll just go from there.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And a lot of times Storage was like, let's just come out of after 5 p.m. and watch it. And that's when we take a vote. Like, no.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Cannot watch any more TV.
You got to draw the line.
Draw the line somewhere.
You got to draw the line
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel like even just hearing some of the behind the scenes and stuff, I feel like it's still is and is not surprising that this kind of thing exists here in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I've heard Rana say before that she suggested in year 4 to move to California, but you're still here in Indy.
Oh, okay. She suggested.
That's
okay.
what allegedly.
Yeah,
I'll say
yeah.
allegedly.
Yeah.
You're still. What's kept y'all in Indianapolis?
Honestly, we did talk about going to LA.
Okay.
And that was going to be in 2020. And you know how 2020 went.
Yes.
There was literally a discussion of like, let's move to LA. And it diverted from that conversation to you can make content anywhere. I think the only thing that would help us going to LA is the opportunity to collab with other people because they all live there. A lot of other, our second biggest reaction channel who's a rival to us live in Ohio. So Marietta, like a tiny town in Ohio, sorry. It's very
Shots
open.
fired.
And there's other big channel who lives in LA, somebody lives in Florida. But I think at the end of the day, you don't really need to be at a specific area.
Yeah.
And LA is just so expensive that our main reason to move to LA was A, to get collaborations, and B, just to be in a near nice weather.
Sure.
It would help. We feel ourselves in the winter to be drained and not want to do anything. So if I was watching TV 8 hours and I go outside in the sun, I will feel so much better.
You go out and it's gray and it's freezing and there's snow. Yeah.
This is draining more life out of me. And if I leave the office at 6 p.m., it's already dark.
Sure.
I was literally in front of TV all day when the sun was out. So that was our main reason. And then we did talk about if not LA, then let's go somewhere else. I think that's something that I still been proponent of, that maybe we move somewhere for 2 years.
Sure.
I think the biggest thing is we will have to move 7 families, essentially.
Sure.
So it's 7 of us, Chris and Markéta together, so I guess 6 households. Some of them have families here or parents, and hard to move away from it. So there's a lot of variables. I think it's easier if there's 1 or 2 people, I'll move away, it's whatever. But this will be moving a whole multiple family, a whole community. And I think we can do it. If it's a temporary basis, let's do it for 2 years.
Sure.
Maybe you can live in a big 2 or 3 houses that we are together kind of thing. Well, we just need a couch, TV, and right? Like camera and good internet.
Yeah.
As long as we have good internet, we can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
And I've also floated the idea, like, let's do a month Airbnb somewhere in the winter, right? Like we can just film our content there.
Sure.
On the weekends, we can do whatever. They just been floated. Nobody has really been like, that sounds great. So I'm sure if we were like Rana, Chris, Markéta, they will love to move. It's just the other people. Like I wanna hear what you think.
Totally. Well, I mean, you have a lot going on. You're doing a lot every single day.
Yes.
I think people don't like moving in general. I don't like to move.
Oh, yeah.
And so
it's hard.
to slot that in or to interrupt all that, it's like, well, we're going to have to do 4x the content to be ahead of the 2 months that it takes to move.
Oh, for sure.
So
that's a lot of preparation.
It's a lot to add.
It's a lot. And like, I remember when we had 2 studios downtown when we moved. So when we moved to this studio in Fishers, I think it took us about a year to kind of hone down what gets filmed where and how it gets filmed. And I think we're in a very good flow of right now. Like we have enough equipment set up in each room that we don't need to move things around. Right. Beside like this new thing that we're doing, Dungeons and Dragons. For that one, we have to move things around. Yeah. Well, eventually we'll have its own standalone equipment. But it is difficult. I think starting all over from a whole new place, like how do we set up things? This is what we set up. And like things are never where they are. Like now they're finally things where they're supposed to be. Like I never go into studios. Like I can't find SD cards. Like where are the SD cards? Like I know where exactly they're going to be. I know where the mics are. So it is really difficult to move it that way. But I think in eventually a couple of years, if we are still doing this, touch wood that we are, I don't want... The only concern I ever have is people saying like, oh, I'm tired of Indiana, right? Like I want a change of scenery or I'm burning out. It's like, then let's change a scenery. Even if a little bit, let's have a hope. Like just because we have bought our studio doesn't mean we are stuck here.
Sure.
We can move, but it's just a lot of people to move.
Totally.
That's the only thing.
Yeah. Well, I think that, like you said, it doesn't have to be a permanent, we are away forever. Like, we don't have to leave Indiana forever. We can test it out even for a month.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't have to be a long time.
Yeah. And end of the day, cost of living in Indiana is great.
Right.
Like, beside the sad 2 months in winter, like, the cost of living is great.
I like that you said 2 months.
3 months. I keep telling myself month 2. If I limit it to
so
that.
So optimistic of you. I love it. I'm going to tap into that.
There's a way to get out of it. Like beside that, we do a group therapy, and it's like that therapist always like, oh, we live in a depression belt. It's like we do live in a depression belt. Like this whole Midwest is depression belt.
Sure.
But beside that, like you can't look away from the cost of living and look away from like things that how much it costs here. LA is LA, but like it is so expensive there, and it's just we can't like get houses there. Yeah. Like people have houses here, like you can't manage it. And we have a good airport that we could leave if we want to. Like Chicago is not that far away. So there are some things. And the end of the day, as long as you have a camera and mic, you can do it from anywhere. Yeah. Like nobody knows where we are. We could be in a basement in like wherever, and nobody knows where we are.
That's true.
I think it's just a mindset, essentially.
Well, and doing it here allows you to be able to have a team to be able to support you and grow and do it differently or bigger or evolve, whatever you want to do.
Have a space, too.
Yeah. Whereas in LA, you might be having to shed some people because, like you said, you got to pay for rent now.
Yeah.
So
if you move to LA, beside the on-screen personality, everybody's going to be remote.
Yeah.
Like, we can't take editors with us.
For sure.
And that will cause a lot of uploading footage, downloading footage, which costs a lot of time. Yeah.
More time and money.
Yes.
Yeah. Data, for sure. We know about that.
Yeah. We'll need a good internet. Good internet is hard to find.
Mailing Samsung or Sony T7s or whatever they are. The T7s and T9s.
There's a whole story there, it sounds like.
Forth to each other. Is there a separation for you between financial officer Navi and entertainer on-screen personality Navi?
Yeah. There is, and a lot of times that comes in the meetings when like things are come over like, we should buy all these things. Like, no. Yeah. No. What are these things that we're buying? Why do we need to? So I think it doesn't happen often, but like once a month, twice a month when we do talk about financials, it's like these are the numbers.
Sure.
Here we are. And I think I have to a lot of times be really like unbiased. It's like these are the numbers. Like even though I'm also an owner of this company, like I have a say in it, but I'm giving you information and rather have you guys discuss it and make the decision because I have a opinion.
Right.
And I will wait to give my opinion. There is. And when I came full time, I wanted to be 50% on-screen personality because there was other things that needed to be worked on. And now it's like I'm 90% on-screen personality, 10% of financial. It's hard for me to give that up to somebody that, like, not that I don't trust people, but it's like
something that you built. Like you built it from almost day one
to do. So, and it works this way. Like, it makes sense. Like, I work with CPAs, whoever needed when the taxes are done. Like, I have it figured out. So it's like hard for me to move that off. But yeah, there will be times like during December, like don't talk to me. I need to clean up all these books. Like there's a lot happening, and we end our books like end of December. So it's like it needs to be done. Documents need to be sent off. Like W-2 needs to be done, and then I take a week break. I was like, now I'm done.
Sure.
Like once the taxes are done, like I'm taking a vacation.
100, well earned.
Yeah,
well
like
deserved.
Done.
Is that a time where you get to turn off all of Normie Navi and be just Navi?
Yeah, but doesn't happen that often. Okay. Yeah, it's like a day or two.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to be in front of a computer for like an hour and then go watch something. It's like I need to be in front of my computer for 8 hours so I don't get distracted. I think when I was part-time, I was like, it's easy. You're watching TV, you just check your Slack message. Like you can just respond to it. But now that I watch so much, he was like, there's no way. Once the show is done, I don't want to look at any screens. Yeah. The next thing I want to do is check my emails. So like I understand like it's hard to reply back to emails and stuff. So you just need that time block. Yeah. It's been hard to find that time block. But yeah.
But you have some time where you can just be you and turn it off all the way.
All the way. Or it's the weekends or whenever it is. Yeah, I went on a hiking trip this week. Yeah. So it's like, I'm going to be on the airplane mode. Don't talk to me. And like airplane mode, there's like
even if you try to talk to me, I will not receive it.
I will not respond. There's no screens. Like I just need to be outside. And there's been a lot of like, let me just be outside. Yeah. Touch the grass.
Sure. Is that your retreat of choice when you get to get away? Is just to go out and be in nature somewhere?
For sure. It's becoming more and more so the more in front of a screen I am. Totally. And it's like, I just need to be outside, touch the grass and go from there. Yeah.
Any places in and around the city that you like to go, or maybe that you can share that you don't want to give away? Maybe?
Yeah, no. There are beautiful trails in Indiana, beautiful trails in Indianapolis. I love going to Virginia Acres behind the Indiana Museum of Art. Yeah. It's a beautiful trail. Holiday Park has a beautiful trail. And the other one's a Fort Harrison. Lawrence Trail is like one of my favorite ones to go to. But I go quite a bit on Virginia Acres because they keep changing their art sculptures that they have. And even you go around the pond, there's a huge trail behind it. Like you can get lost and still come around to the same trail. Yeah. Yeah. So I have a dog. I got a dog for a very specific reason to get me out of my seat to walk. It was during pandemic because I was working too much. So she's been really helpful. Yeah. It's like, let's just go walk.
Shout out to your dog.
Shout out to my dog.
What kind of dog did you get?
She's a pit bull.
Pit bull.
Yeah, so black pitty. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, she's just as lazy as I am sometimes, but then she will get up and move around. It's like, all right,
you're supposed to be leading me outside.
Exactly. It was like, I thought she will make me wake up early in the morning, and it doesn't happen. I have to wake up, do everything, and then wake her up. Like, let's go do things.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of nature, we have a recurring segment on the show called Give Them Their Flowers, where we ask our guests to shout out a person or persons that they feel like deserve their flowers at the moment. Yes. So in addition to Markéta, anybody else that you feel like deserve their flowers right now? Because she definitely does.
Yes. Markéta definitely deserves her flowers. I will also shout out to Rana for doing this introduction. She's everywhere.
Amazing person.
She's a super energetic person who like makes great social connects. The other person I would love to give a shout out is not from the Normies team. His name is Blake Roebuck. He works from Indiana government, and he's actually was the one who did the organized the hiking trip. So I was able for his birthday, and I was able to see this whole different mountain in Tennessee that I had no idea existed.
Amazing.
And was able to like take me out of this TV screen and was in the nature for like 3 days, and I absolutely enjoyed it. It was much needed retreat. I feel like came back with more energy to do more things. But yeah, and a shout out to my editors. Love my editing team. Like they are amazing. They go above and beyond. You tell them what to do, and they're like, "Okay, we'll make it work."
Yeah.
And if they can't make it work, then they really can't make it work.
Sure.
But otherwise, they do everything they can to like make things work and make us look great on screen, because there's a lot of times we don't look great. There's a lot of things said that like, thank God they get cut out. So they are doing lots of work. Yeah, they're doing great. Amazing.
Well, shout out to the editors and shout out to Blake.
Yes, Blake. Thank you.
I got a couple more questions for you before I let you get out of here. Okay, so we talk a lot about Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
When I toured your studio, you have a hallway of all authentic replica weapons from the show. Almost every weapon, I believe, if not every single one of them.
Every single one of them.
Does it ever feel overwhelming to receive stuff from fans and from your community?
Yes, very much so. We do unboxing every 2 to 3 months. A lot of times when we get done with unboxing, I just feel like I had such an adrenaline rush that I feel tired. It's very overwhelming to just get the support and love, because they don't need to send us those gifts. Like they're subscribing to our channel. It's already a big deal for them to go above and beyond and send us. Sometimes they'll send such a unique things to people based on what they may have said in some shows.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're watching us like that closely. And they are very thoughtful. Like sometimes we'll get letters. I love receiving letters.
Yeah.
And a lot of letters are just more like, oh, they were going through hard times, and because they were watching it with us and felt like they were watching alongside of us, they felt better. And just hearing that, right? Like somebody that we have never met who might be in a different country, who was able to connect with us, it's an overwhelming feeling. Because end of the day, we just watch TV. So that kind of helps us like, okay, this is why we do it. It's because we are building community, and they are building community with our community, and we're like all growing together and supporting each other. Even if it's through a screen, we're able to support each other. It feels, it's really overwhelming. The first time we got a sword for Game of Thrones, I think the video is up there. We were so freaked out. It was like, how is this possible? Like, who would send this? Why would they send it to us? Sure. Like we are watching just TV, right? Like what is happening? And it's the same person who actually sent us all the swords.
Yeah. So
it's a one person who sent them all of them. And so every time we got that big box, it's like, what could possibly be more?
Yeah.
Like what's left? So when we got the studio, when we put it up, and when that supporter did come visit us, we were like, let us show you the hallway. Like let us show you this Game of Thrones hallway that you helped us support.
Yeah.
And that person's welcome at our studio anytime, any day, and it's super sweet.
For sure.
Like one of our really good friends, like when it was their birthday, we were like, we'll make sure we reach out and everything that happens. We are thankful every single day. We are blessed that we get to do what we are doing. Like how often can we say like we're making a living out of watching TV?
Totally.
But it's really our community who has brought us to where we are.
Yeah.
Like, we wouldn't be anything without them.
Well, I think it really I was struck by the fact that was just walking through the hallway and seeing these weapons. But I think the thing that really stood out to me was what really made clear to me was the community that you've tried to build, or that you have built, have built over this 10-year period of doing this. And for someone to not just send you one thing, but to continue to show up and want to provide you with this. And then that is 100-fold, with everybody who's sent you things.
Yes.
I think it really speaks to what you've cultivated and created. And I think, I could be wrong, the most diverse set of entertainers, reactors, group of people doing something on a channel on YouTube.
Yes.
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Like so many different people, cultures, communities, identities represented across the couch. It's truly remarkable. And again, I think we talked earlier, like maybe not many people know you're in Indy, but like the fact that you're doing that here in Indy is really incredible to me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think a lot of times when people like recognize us on the street, they're like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like, we live here. So that happens quite a bit. They're like, you live in Indiana? I thought you were visiting for something. Like, no, we're here. I'm surprised you didn't find us before because we are out and about all the time. I am very thankful for our friends group. We had our ups and downs, but like because we are so diverse, which was accidental. Like we weren't like trying to be just, I think we just found each other through the shared experience. I think because of how diverse we are, it makes it better because everybody
100%.
Brings so many different perspectives.
100%.
So many different perspectives. They're like, oh, you just saw this show from completely different lens that I wouldn't have seen. Yeah. We have quite a lively debate sometimes depending on the show. So it helps.
I love it. Yeah. All right. You've been doing a lot of DC rewatching currently.
Yes.
From your Navi's most underrated DC property.
Ooh, I don't know if it's underrated, but I love DC Green Lantern movie.
Okay.
Animated. Yep. Not Ryan Reynolds. Animated one. Even though Ryan Reynolds one was hilarious. We just watched that. And because we're doing bad DC movies, so that was the first one. Green Lantern, because I think what they tried to build the world, I didn't even know there were that many Green Lanterns. Like the most I learned from was Young Justice. Yeah. The animated series also. So watching Green Lantern animated movie, it's like there's so much here. There's so much potential here that we could go from. And Young Justice. I think Young Justice is great. They need to bring a whole new season. I don't know if it ever will happen. But DC animated shows are killing it. Yep. They're killing it. I don't know about live action. Live action can go wherever they want.
Yeah. They're trying to figure it out.
But that's giving us a whole new category, right? Like we're starting a bad DC movie club. So we just watched Steel.
There we go.
Yeah. So we're going to watch Catwoman and all the other ones and just laugh at it. So like it's just its own category, which is fine.
Yeah. Speaking of new categories, a new-ish thing that you all have been doing has been watching WrestleMania.
Yes. The women's wrestling.
The women's wrestling watch. I love it.
Love it.
What do you think the biggest misconception about pro wrestling is?
I think not misconception. I think the one thing is it is scripted, right?
Sure.
But I think misconception is like they don't get injured. Yeah. And I think they're like, no, it might be scripted, but that slap was an actual slap. Like I could hear from far away. Like they're actually getting hurt. Yeah. And they are putting so much work in it. Like I think I used to watch wrestling when I was a kid. I was like, hey, it's fine. But now watching it with my older body, I was like, she just picked her up. That's like 200-pound woman like that you just picked her up and threw it. Like that's a lot. Yeah. That takes so much work. So like regardless of being scripted, the amount of energy and stamina that goes into it is insane. And I think that's that's something that I'm just learning and being impressed that these women are putting in work. Yeah. Like those abs are working it. Like they are doing amazing job. Yeah. We love it. We love women's wrestling.
Well,
that's my favorite.
You got to check it out. The last one was hilarious with the chairs. I love talking about the way that people just walking away. Clearly, everyone's hurt.
Yeah, and they're walking away. It was like, and we will always Google it. It was like, what were the injuries that they all got? Because we just watched men's wrestling, older one, and the moves that they do was like, that's clearly not legal now. those moves are not okay to do right now. Yeah. So it's good to see the change that has happened. So now, but yeah, like Indianapolis, getting all the WWE events, I think it's an amazing, amazing opportunity. Yeah. We miss Royal Rumble because we started watching it after Royal Rumble, which we are sad that we started watching after because Bianca was here. We would love to go see her. So we went to WrestlePalooza. So we are going to be slowly like working with AEW and WWE because they're doing quite a bit of events in Indianapolis, which, again, you don't need to be anywhere. If you don't live in LA, like there are things happening in Indianapolis.
You'd be flying here.
I know.
You'd be flying here.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more questions for real this time, and I'll let you go. What we've talked about the channel, the Normies. We've talked about everything that you do and like the why of it and all of this. What is a normie?
Normie. So we started a channel called Talking Thrones, and we are called the Normies because somebody insulted us online. They're just effing normies, and we're like, we love that name. So normie is essentially any normal person who is consuming media on a mainstream media on a surface level. So it's just everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. Like everyone, because you can be an expert in something, but at the end of the day, there's just so much information that you're consuming everything on surface level. Like a lot of news is just headlines. It's like, I just read this headline. Like I have no time to go much depth into it. Like this is happening. So yeah, it's anybody who just have a passion of anything. Like if you love watching anime, you love watching DC, and you love watching other stuff, like you're a normal person. You're just like one of us. I don't know if you've seen Wednesday recently.
I've seen the first season, but I haven't watched any of the new stuff
In that one,
yet.
like people who have quirks and then they're normal human beings. So like we're just normal human beings. Everybody else is just like is normies.
Yeah.
So all of our fans, we call them normies. But I know some people use it as an insult. Some people don't. It's like we're all just consuming everything. We're consuming everything. There's so much to consume. Like so much entertainment. But yeah, normies is just everyone.
I love it. I love it. And I love that it's birthed out of someone trying to take you down.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, no, we're going to repurpose this.
Yeah, we would love this.
Because it is kind of a fire name.
Exactly.
Like, it's a real fire name.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We were looking for a name when that happened. Like, perfect. That's it. That's it. We'll take that.
Just a lot of hearts on that one comment. But it's all from you guys because it's like, we're going to take this now.
Yeah. Like,
frame that comment.
Came from a community, so we'll take this.
100%.
Yeah, we turned a lot of trolls into friends, so it's perfect.
Hey, that's doing good work right there.
Yeah.
Navi, I appreciate you coming through, sharing all that you shared, schooling us on what you guys do. Last but not least, for people out there watching, tuning in right now, if they want to become a normie, if they want to join y'all on the couch and watch and follow along and be a part of what you guys are doing, what's the best way for them to do that? How they find you, follow you, support you going forward?
Support us on YouTube. It's youtube.com/The Normies Group, or just search The Normies. We should be the first one that pop up. We are also on our Instagram, _Normies. If you are a huge Game of Thrones fan, reach out to us if you live in Indy, because we are thinking of opening up our studio once, like to just have people come through, because we have a lot of memorabilia that people have sent us, and it's sad that only us get to see it. And I mean, after a while, we are just used to it, right? So whenever you come in or somebody comes in, they're like, oh, and we get to see it through the eyes. Like, oh, this is amazing. This Dragon Ball, like, it is great. Like, of course it is. So we are thinking of doing that eventually. And we are trying to get a lot of creators together, create some kind of event around it. So if you are an indie and you're a creator, come connect with us. We will love to be more participating in our community in Indianapolis.
Love it.
Because there's so many creative people here.
Yeah.
It's great.
A lot of stuff happening, and y'all are right in the thick of it. So doing the thing.
Yeah, if you didn't know we're here, now you know.
Now
we're here.
You know.
Exactly.
Navi, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
100%. For everything else, Conversation Piece related, go to conversationpiecePod.com or at Conversation Piece Pod on Instagram or the other social media apps that exist out there. Follow along on Substack, patrickintheworld.substack.com for the newsletter and the new podcast From the Kitchen Table, which is a Conversation Piece production. So I don't know why I'm throwing that out there. I'm throwing it out there right now because I want people to go subscribe to it. For everything else, Conversation Piece, got to shout out the team, John Overton and Popular Rapture on the mics, Mike Lee and Mike Lee Productions on the cameras. Shout out to Pattern and the Studs for the space. Shout out to Madeline and Frida's Flowers for sponsoring our show with the Give Them Their Flowers segment. Shout out to Navi for being an amazing guest. And shout out to me for hosting the show.
Yes.
One more episode after this for 2025, and then it's 2026, the year of, I can't tell you yet, it's a surprise. Other than that, see y'all soon.